Greetings, fellow action figure connoisseurs, and welcome to another episode of Digital Caveman Presents Surprise Thursday. I, as always, am your host, the Digital Caveman, and today's surprise is the Spiro Toys Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Primal Series Horrid Infantry. Let's get into it! Let's begin with a look at the packaging. And here we have on the top, Spiro. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that they don't belong there. And then here's a nice little sliver of a window on the top to let some light in from up here. And then it turns into a nice big window down here and on the side here, showcasing the majority of the figure and accessories. Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Primal Series Horrid Infantry Spiro. Warning, don't stick things in your pie hole that don't belong there. On the bottom, there is their address if you want to send them a letter. Spiro.com. Spiro. They're on Facebook and Instagram. There's a barcode. It's made in China. And there's some small fine legalese print, and it's in all kinds of languages. So on this side, we've got a nice leafy background going on there with a nice piece of artwork of this fine fellow. And then on this side, just the leafy background. And finally on the back, different colored leafy background. And I'm assuming this is the Horrid symbol. And then here's that same artwork from this side, just zoomed out a little bit. And then here it says Horrid Infantry. Slightly higher up on the food chain, the Horrid Infantry aren't as numerous as their Ravager counterparts, but they are better trained and have more reliable equipment. Often used as officers to keep the Ravager units organized in the chaos of battles, these soldiers are not to be underestimated. And then there it is again in some other languages that I don't read, especially that one. I really can't read that one at all. Don't give it to babies. Warning, attention, advertencia, aviso, don't stick things in your pie hole that don't belong there. Collect them all. Primal Series Wave 3. Don't forget to heat them up so you don't break any joints. And that, my friends, is a look at the packaging. Let's take a look at the figure and his accessories. And if we need them, here we have handy dandy tweezers, and we will start off with. So first off, we have this peg, which you don't have to use, but what this is for is there's a port in his back, and you put this in it, and then you can hang his shield on this as well, so it can go on his back, and he doesn't have to carry it in his hand. He has two additional sets of hands, a set of fists, in and out hinged, and nice molded details on it, all molded in color, it appears. And left and a right one. Other than being opposite sides, they're pretty much the same. And then we have a set of grappling, I guess they're grappling hands. Reach out and get you, Barbara. So in and out hinges as well. Nice molded details. A little bit of a fingernail claw type deal going on there. And again, it looks like they're molded in that solid color with no paint apps. And that's fine. So there's that. We also get this big old sword. Nice silver paint app on it. And down here, as well. And I'm assuming it's molded in this color and then the silver is all paint. But very nice looking piece, especially for an infantry guy. Then we have his shield, which again is a nice silver paint app, and it looks quilted on this side for comfort. And then lots of nice molded detail in here. You know, you've got this going on, and these, and then the rivets, and this down here, and it's just very, very shiny. And then this, of course, is, you know, you can remove this. You can put it on either side, and then either one of these pegs can be used for that piece we looked at before that pegs it onto his back. Now we have, it comes with an alternate head, and it's kind of cool looking. It's very, hey, stay up here, you. There we go. Maybe that'll get it. So, very nicely sculpted. And look at those eyes. They're kind of reflective there on the light. Very cool indeed. And then the last accessory is he has a helmet. And it has lots of nice molded details in it. Nice little paint up there on the very top. Slots for his ears to fit into. And then just very monkey military looking, I guess is the term for it. I don't know. So now let's take a look at the figure himself. And again, the head sculpt is very, very nice. And the difference in these, I think they're the same mold. No, they are a little bit different. It's like the noses are different, it looks like. So, but other than that, they're very similar. I guess they would have to be if they both wore the helmet. So look at those eyes again. Those eyes are peering out and they catch the light. He's a bad guy monkey. So I'm guessing the face maybe is the paint app, but it could be the hair. I don't know. Nice sculpted detail. Nice textural sculpted detail all throughout the figure where he is fuzzy. He's got a nice ab pack going on there. He's got this overlay piece, which is his shoulder armor. It's got some nice rivet details, and they're painted, going all the way around. And then, for the most part, you know, that's most of the paint. There's not a whole lot of paint apps going on here. I think this is molded in color. I think this is molded in color. And these two, they're the same, but molded in two different colors that look like. Although this may be a paint app. Yeah, it's probably molded in this color, and this is a paint app. So that may be the same for this as well. But what are these? Are these like some kind of crazy grenades? I don't know. And then nice detailing here for the chainmail. So overall, very, very cool looking. So let's take a look at his articulation. And the head is on a ball and hinge. Ooh, and the neck is a separate piece as well with a ball at the bottom. So he can look up that high. And wow, that hinge doesn't want to give very much. I may have to loosen it up. So he can look down that far. He's got some chicken neck a little bit. He's got some waggle, waggle, waggle. He can do the full exorcist. At the shoulder, he's got butterfly. Always good. Back that far, forward that far. So a pretty decent range of motion there. And then 360 degrees worth of rotation at the shoulder as well. And he can raise his arm up a little past 90. Cut here at the upper bicep for a full 360 degree rotation there. Double hinged, pinned elbows. And it gives you that much bend. 360 degrees of rotation at the wrist on an in and out hinge, and then up and down on the other side. So hey, that's cool. cut where the torso, nope, standard ab hinge in the torso allows him to lean back that far. And there's a ball joint or half dumbbell, whatever you want to call it, at the waist. So in conjunction, those two let him lean back that far and lean forward that far. So that is a very nice range of motion there. He's got some hula going on. 360 degrees of rotation at the waist as well, and then he can lean left and right, so that's cool. No pull down at the hips, but he gives you that much of the splits, and it doesn't feel like the waist armor is hindering that any. So they move out of the way pretty well. Kicks forward about that far, and again, it doesn't feel like that armor is, that overlay is hindering it any. And then it'll go back that far, which is pretty good. Then he's got a cut at the upper thigh for full 360 degrees worth of rotation. Double hinged pinned knee, and it gives you that much bend. Then let's see, nothing in the shin area at the ankle, tilts down that far, tilts up that far, and this might be hindering it just a little bit. And then he does have a pin for rocker. And as far as this stuff goes, helmet just slides on his head. And look at those eyes. I don't know if it's like the reflection of the light, but that looks pretty cool. And then that pin's right there in his back. And again, if you don't want him to carry his shield, it can go on there, but you have to remove the other piece. And he can also hold a shield in his hand. Again, you can move this peg around, or this handle around, so you can do it on either side or hold it closer in or further out, however you want to do it. And then holds a sword in his hand. And there you have it, my friends. I'll look at the figure and his accessories. It's time for my favorite part of a review, comparisons. And here we have the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Horrid Infantry with the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Chunari Legionary and the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Gladiator Aha Kin. For our last set of comparisons, here we have the Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Horrid Infantry, with from the Marvel Legends series making his cameo appearance, Stan the Man Lee. From G.I. Joe Classified series, the Hasbro Pulse exclusive Regal variant Cobra Commander. From Star Wars The Black series, the Archive Edition 501st Legion Clone Trooper. And for a 7-inch scale comparison from the Masters of the Universe Masterverse line, the 40th Anniversary He-Man. For final thoughts on the Spiro Toys Animal Warriors of the Kingdom Primal Series Horrid Infantry, I have to say I like this guy. I know he's the bad guy, but I think he looks really cool, and he really has that like ape look to him, especially in the face. And it's like in some instances where the light shines on his eyes, it looks like he's got little white pinpricks for eyes, and that looks really disturbing and, you know, appropriate for a bad guy. And, you know, he has cool weapons. And the helmet, I like the helmet too. And, you know, the armor doesn't have a lot of color to it. It's like silver and gray, I guess. If it's not gray, I'm colorblind. Don't make fun of handicapped people. The design of the shield is really cool. And, you know, there's not a lot of paint apps going on this figure, but where they are, it stands out. And the addition of an extra head, that's really cool too. That helps, you know, differentiate as you're using this guy as an army builder, which is what this fellow is an army builder. And so that helps you differentiate them from one another, because as far as weapons go, there's not a lot of differentiation for them. You know, it's yeah, sword and a shield, and that's it. So, but, you know, swapping the heads, using the helmet, not using the helmet, using the shield, not using the shield, you know, swapping sword hands, that kind of thing can help differentiate these guys up. And, yeah, I want to take this opportunity and say that I have revised my opinion on this line since last year. And that's not to, I don't want it to make it sound like that I didn't like the line, because I did, but I was hoping that it would fit in with Mythic Legions, but stylistically it's a little too, I guess, colorful for that. It doesn't quite have the realistic, not that Mythic Legions is 100% realistic looking, but, you know, it's, you know, just stylistically they don't fit together. And to me, that was a disappointment. I was basing that mostly off of Tiberius, which is one of the two that I looked at last year. And, you know, even though stylistically they don't really fit in with Mythic Legions, there's other lines they can fit in if that's, you know, something you need. Marvel Legends, Masters of the Universe, DC, and, you know, so, you know, there are things it can fit in with if that is an important thing to you and you collect those other lines. But this line is perfectly fine to stand on its own. It doesn't have to fit in with other lines. I was just hoping that it would, because I like, you know, we don't have any ape people in Mythic Legions, and design wise I like the Animal Warriors cat people a little better than Mythic Legions. But again, you know, stylistically, color wise and stuff, they just don't kind of fit. So that was, you know, disappointment on my part, and I kind of put that on the whole line based off of one figure, because Onyx didn't have the look, that same cartoony type look that Tiberius does. And so, you know, I've revised my opinion. I'm not above saying that I was wrong about something, and, you know, I was wrong about that line, and again, I was basing it off of that one figure, even though I took a look at 2. And so, that's not to say I'm going to be out to get every single release in Animal Wars of the Kingdom. That's just, I like the line, but I'm not all in on it, if that makes sense. I've got too many other things on my plate, so to speak, and that take, to me, priority over this line. And you know, that's okay. And if you don't feel the same, that's okay too. But you know, I talked to, at Joe Fest, I talked to a couple of guys at the Animal Warriors table, and I want to say one of them was Jason, the designer. I want to say his name was Jason. I'm horrible with names, so Jason may not be his name, but I think it was his name. And you know, he took me through everything that was at the table, and some of that was, you know, product that they had for sale, past product, and some upcoming product, which is very interesting looking. And if you want to check that out, just search up my 2025 Joe Fest recap. And I want to say his was the very first segment in there. So if not, just check the chapters out. It's the Animal Wars of the Kingdom, or I may have labeled it Spiro. I don't remember right off. But that does it for the review. I hope you enjoyed it. I enjoyed making it. Only support from viewers like you make this programming possible. Each view does count, and I do appreciate each and every single view I receive. Thank you, and thank you so very, very much for supporting this channel through viewing. If you are interested in supporting my channel further, I am now offering memberships at various tiers. Click the join button on my YouTube page, or check this video's description for the link and see if any membership offers are right for you, but only if you are in a position to do so. Comment below, like, share, subscribe if you would like to see more content, or just to help the channel grow, or both, that's even better. And don't forget to ding that bell so that in the future you will be notified as my new content becomes available. That's a wrap, folks. I'll see you next time.